Hello guys, this is Lori with Crafty Creations, and I have a new project to share with you and a tutorial. So if you'll hang out with me during the review of the project, at the end of the review then I'll go directly into the tutorial. This project was made using the Craftology box for the month of September for countrycraftcreations.com. You could choose two different kits, either the Christmas or the Halloween, and I was sent the Halloween, and I love this collection. It was made using the Authentique Nightfall collection, and it's vintage, it's Halloween, it's cute. I really love it. So in the new kits, it's like a project-based kit this time. You can still make whatever you want, but the chipboard was included that was pre-cut to make this album. So I have also included the measurements for the chipboard in case you don't purchase the kit. That way you can still make this on your own. So it's a kind of a chunky, skinnier mini. What else? On the front cover, I have just put some design paper down. I have layered two different colors of cardstock behind this adorable cut apart, and I've added some Wink of Stella to her. I don't know if you can tell, but she's glittery. In our kit, we were given a million of these really adorable buttons, and I loved them. So this one was a flat back and it says Halloween, so I stuck that here. I made a bow using the ribbon and stuck it at the top. On my spine, I used, this paper was my favorite paper of the collection because it just had a collage of everything. And on my spine, I used some wooden buttons from my stash, as well as just the buttons from the collection. That one says scary. Not the collection, from the kit here to make my little dangly charm. And then here's the back, and I have added the quote from the papers that Authentique always includes. So on the inside, the pages are small. They measure 4 inches by 7, I believe, something like that. 7 1/4, not sure. On the front, I did a pocket, and I just have 2 of the larger cut aparts from the collection, and I made them into photo mats. So simple pocket here, like I always do. A couple stickers here backed on cardstock. And the way my pages work is there is this feature in the front, and it holds, it's like a belly band, and it holds a booklet where you could put 3x4 photos. And then this unties, and you have to take it out. Now, you can make this 2 ways. You can either take it out or you can make it to where you don't have to. So I'll show you how to do both. And then this opens. So this is like a 3 3/3 by 6 photo here. And I have just decorated it and added some little stickers at the bottom. And then that's a 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 photo. And then it just closes back, and then you tie this back like so. But I won't tie that back for every single one. I'll just stick this here and move on. I don't have any, did I glue it? No. There is a pocket here, but I didn't put any photo mats there. On the other side of the album, you have the same feature, except for this one you don't untie, you just leave it. It's just decorative. And so there's a photo mat right here. I've added a little sticker there, and then you have a flip up. So you could place a photo here, there's a little sticker up top, and then a teeny tiny pocket. These are the tags that came with the collection, and unfortunately I don't have the dies for these, but I just put paper on mine for like a journal spot, and this just tucks in here. You can also tuck this flap inside here, except for my cardstock's so thick. It doesn't do it very well. And it will stay, but I didn't make it like that. I made it to sit, whoops, on top. But I don't like to bend my cardstock. You could put a photo here on this little flap, and then all my little flaps are getting in the way. And here, there's just a pocket on the other side with another cut apart. So again, this one unties. There is a booklet in this one as well. And this one goes like this, and this one flips out this way instead. So I thought that was cute to shoot you some stickers, and just did different size photos. And then again, here I used a little star button, and here is the photo mat. And then lift this up, and I have a cat sticker up here, and then the Graphic 45 tag down here for journaling photo. And then here is this cut apart photo mat. Inside here, another booklet. They're all blank on the inside. And this one folds out this way and then this way. Super cute. And then turn it over. Photo mat. This one is 4 pages. This was a sticker from the collection. It flips up, and I have a little sticker down here, and then the little photo mat, and then in here there was 2 large stickers in the collection that I just made into little photo mats. Super cute. And I loved this cut apart. And then you can see how I did this one. Opens this way, and this one opens out this way again. Folds back. And then here I used another star button here. Photo mat. Flips up. This one says trick or treat at the top. Again, another journal tag, or you could put a photo on there. Photo here, and then a photo here. And then I didn't put anything on the back cover because you could do the same size pocket here, so I'll give you the measurements for this, but I just wanted to leave it plain. I like this paper. So, really cute album, super simple, and like I said, if you think that tying back all of the ribbons is a pain, which it is, I know, I'm going to show you. The flaps will stay closed without having to tie back the ribbons, so I'll have to do that in a minute. So let's go into the tutorial. It's really, really easy. Let's see. So at first you're going to take a piece of cardstock and you're going to cut it at 12 inches by 7 inches. And then you're going to score on the 12-inch side at 4 and then 8 inches. I know this cardstock's really light. I didn't have any of the darker brown cardstock in 12 by 12. And then you're going to fold on those 4-inch score lines, and it's going to kind of bubble like this. So what you're going to do is take your bone folder and just make it lie flat. Just crease those and it will lay flat. So you can choose to fold it this way, this way, or you can make it fold in here and then this way. So how I did that was I took my base page. This is part of the base page. And the other part of the base page was cut to 4 inches by 8 inches. You're going to score on the 8-inch side at ½ an inch on each end. And then you're going to fold on the score lines. So I put mine like this. So you can decide how you want your page. So if you want it to open this way, then you glue it down like this. And then if you want to open this way, then you glue it down like this. Does that make sense? So I'm going to glue it down like that. I'm going to use my art glitter glue. Looks like this. I love this glue. I say it in every video. It's my favorite. I never thought I would find a glue to use for making mini albums that I loved so much as I love this glue. So I'm going to glue this directly on top. And this will create our base page. Okay, so now I chose for it to open up like a book, like this way. But like I said, you could glue it any way you want to open it up however you want. So the only other thing we're going to do on here, now eventually this is going to lay flat. So you really don't have to have a magnet, I don't feel. So this is where it's up to you. You can take, these are the little ribbon closure pieces that I used. So I cut 4 of these, 2 for the front and 2 for the back, at 2.5 by 2 inches. And you're going to score on the 2.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. And what I did to make them decorative is I took my We Are Memory Keepers scallop edge punch, and I just, actually I do them both at the same time because I'm lazy, and just punch them, the corners, and that gives me my little decorative edge. So then I'm going to crease, fold on my score lines. So you can choose. The first one's going to go on the very top here, and you can center it and add it to the top, okay? Here we go. Now what I did is I added the second one here inside the flap so that it would keep this closed when I tied it. But I discovered that you could also just add it to the very top of this one. So actually I'm going to put it on the inside here and then put it under here. But you just got to make sure you line it up with this one as much as you can. And you have to do that fast because this glue dries fast. So I feel like you could use the closure as just a decorative element, and this is going to eventually lay flat on its own. Okay? And then that way you wouldn't have to tie and untie it all the time. That's just my opinion. So, but if you want to make it like mine and make it to where it actually closes the album, you would glue your little tab right here, and then it would keep it closed. I hope that makes sense. So now flip this page over. The front is done. We are going to do a flap at the top. Actually, let's do the little side flap. So cut one piece to 4 1/8 by 5 1/2, and then score on the 4 1/8 of an inch side at 1/2 inch and then at 5/8 of an inch. This will give you the little gusset, which I like to do. The gusset just helps keep this page, this additional feature, just a little bit away from the page so that everything can close and lay flat. So once I fold on both of those score lines, I get this little box here. Okay, so I'm going to, and I did round my corners of this, so you can do that if you want. So I'm going to add glue right here, being careful not to go over that first score line. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to open up the little pocket and stick this flap inside. And again, I'm going to be careful not to go over the very first score line. Okay, so I have this additional flap. Now there's a pocket that goes in this flap, so let's go ahead and add it. So you're going to cut one piece at 3 inches by 6 1/2. I used my envelope punch board to make these notches right here. I like the way that looks. So if you're going to do that, then you would do that at this point before you glue it down. That's what I was forgetting, my scissors. And my 5-year-old had them last, so no telling where they are. So we'll just use a different pair. So I'm going to miter my corners and fold on all the score lines. And then I'm going to add this right here. So it's going to be a little side pocket. So again, if you want to do the notch, then you have to find the center of this pocket with the hinges folded in and then punch at the center. I think I've showed y'all how to do that several times. I need to have like just a separate video showing y'all. Speaking of things I've showed you guys, a lot of people, at least one or two, I say a lot, have asked me, hey, I have my pages done, what do I do now? So I know that I do these so often that I forget that there are new people. So there is a general binding and album cover making tutorial on my channel. So I'm going to link that down below in the description box so you can use that as an example as to how to bind your album and make your covers. Because I don't do that in these tutorials in order to keep them short. Alright, so now we're going to do this flap. This flap is 3 3/4 by 7 inches, and then you're going to score on the 3 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. And again, if I forget to say something, all of my measurements are in the description box below. I always include those for you guys, so that way you can cut and then follow along during the video. Now I'm going to flip this up, and I'm going to go ahead and add my teeny tiny pocket. This one's cut at 1.5 by 5 inches. Score on the 1.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 5 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. And then miter your corners just like you would a regular pocket. Sometimes it looks funny when you're doing something on a smaller scale. And then add this down at the bottom of the page. Okay, now these, and again, I'm going to punch the corners just like I did before. It's my favorite punch, by the way. Again, these are 2.5 by 2 inches, and you're going to score on the 2.5 inch side, no, the 2 inch side at 1/2 inch. Yes, is that right? Billy Band. 2 inch side, yes, that's correct. And then for these, I added the glue on the inside of the flap, and then I did it in the middle of this flap. And again, these are purely decorative. So what you're going to do with these flaps is you're going to want to add your eyelet. Hold on, let me glue this down and then I'll show you what I'm talking about with the album. So now we've added this one. So let me close my glue before it dries out. Whoops. So for this, you're going to want to add your eyelets after you add your paper to both sides. Now you only have to add your paper to one side if you're not using it as like a closure, because if you're not using it as a closure and it's going to be purely decorative, you're not going to be untying it at all. Does that make sense? So you only have to add paper to one side. So that's what I did on this. Just added the paper to the one side, punched my hole, and then added my eyelet. So the eyelet just makes it sturdier. And I added eyelets to my little tags as well, teeny tiny eyelets. So let's see, what else can I tell you about this album? I think that's it. Most of my photo mats were 3x4, or they were the booklets made for 3x4 photos, so they were cut to, let's see, what is that, 6.5 by 4.25. And so I think that's it. Cute little book. The spine was already pre-cut in our kit, so I might have been able to get another page in here, but it was a little bulky. But I used bulky things like, well, that's paper, but I used the bulky stars. I had much bulkier. I'd used some of these some of these buttons on here, and I had to take them off because it was way too bulky. It wouldn't shut, so um, there's that. Use thinner, use paper, or you don't have to use anything right there. Actually, I just thought it was cute because it was decorative. What else can I tell you? For the little dangle charm, all I did was I added an eyelet right here, and you can actually see it on the inside of the album. And I just doubled up some ribbon and tied them on here. And the binding tutorial is going to be at the bottom in the description box. And I guess that's all that I have. Now, since I used the exact same size chipboard that came in the kit, this book will also fit in the haunted house that Tamara made, if you choose to make that. So make sure you check on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations Facebook page, and you'll be able to find that project. And I guess that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. It was a super simple, fun album to do. I really did it in a weekend. So just a few hours, and it was super easy. If you have any questions, please let me know. And by the way, I just started checking the discussion area on my channel, and I realized that people have been leaving me questions there, and I've never checked it. So I am so sorry if you've left me a question and I didn't answer it. I wasn't ignoring you on purpose. I just didn't think to check it. So I'm going to go back in the next few days and make sure I get all of those questions answered. And that's it. The easiest way to reach me if you have a question is on my Facebook page, which is LM's Crafty Creations on Facebook. I'd be happy to chat with you and answer any questions you have. And thanks for watching. See you next time.